Yo, real quick, this how the build work. I'm gonna show a quick demo, and then I'll go over it. So a quick breakdown of what that was. Coming over to skills, we're gonna go to our basic skills. We got Frenzy. We got Enhanced Frenzy, Combat Frenzy, the 8% damage reduction and stack up to 3 times. The main reason for that is the Fury Builder. Coming on down to Weapon Mastery skills. So this build is mostly all about Weapon Mastery skills, with Ren thrown in there to do that big chunk bleed damage. So we got the Steel Grasp. No one is doing this, no one's talking about it. I don't know why no one likes Steel Grasp, whatever. Berserking is the reason why you want Steel Grasp. You got Berserking pretty much non-stop. That with the Vulnerable non-stop. So you got the Steel Grasp and you also got Rupture. Now, Rupture is actually doing the same thing Steel Grasp is doing, and I'll explain that in a minute. The only thing it doesn't do the Berserking. And the reason why it's doing that is because expose vulnerability. So whenever you do a weapon mastery skill, your core skill is going to vulnerable. We got Ren that's increasing vulnerable by 2 seconds every time. So as long as you keeping that loop going, you got the enemy vulnerable 100% of the time. Not only that, with vulnerable, everyone knows that vulnerable is multiplicative, so it's stacking a ridiculous amount. So we went and grabbed everything in the shout here. We're not grabbing Warcry simply because we got 5 buttons, and if we could have another button, we would grab it, but we're gonna opting for defensive and utility for now. Checking out ultimate skills, we don't have anything. Only thing we grabbing over here is heavy-handed. I forgot to mention the thick skin. We grabbing one of those so we can get the 3 counter defensive. Then we capstone off with gushing wounds. Heading on over to Paragon. I'm still trying to figure Paragon out, but I got a little route that I'm taking. But the most important thing here is Weapon Master. Weapon Master is what's allowing the synergy in the build with Steel Grasp and Rupture going into Ren, constantly keeping that vulnerability up at all times. Alright, moving up the rest of the Paragon board. This is the route that I took. We're going into Decimator. And then for this one, I grabbed Hemorrhage. For the sockets, went ahead and put in Marshall. And for this one, Exploit. So these, you can go ahead and move those around as you see fit. I'm still trying to figure it out, so this may not be the best course. Before I forget, Expertise. You're using the two-handed sword, so you're getting that at all times. But you also want to go ahead and put in for the axe here, two-handed axe, so you can get that vulnerability damage. Vulnerability is ridiculous in this game. Like, that's your main stat for everything. This is the gear here. So I went ahead and got that 4 points of Rupture. So I don't think it's really needed because Steel Grasp and Rupture are pulling into each other. But you can go ahead and get it. It's nice to have. For the two-hand, I want to mention this because this is important. So whenever you put an aspect into the two-hand, it doubles up. So now it's at 180%. It used to be at 90%, but because it doubles on two hands, it's at 180%. So that's important. Make sure you have that there. These you can mix around, but this you want to make sure you have that. Same thing with these two. They can be in any order as long as they're on your weapons there, or gloves, because weapons and gloves also share the same aspect slot. And this is the most important piece of the build, the Fields of Crimson right here. I got literally lowest roll you can get, and it still melts everything. So doesn't matter what roll you get, you just do need this weapon. And here's my accessory slots. I mean, that's pretty much the build. Like I said, it's real simple. It's a rotation, but it's a simple rotation. You're going ahead and build up your Fury however you need to, whether you use your buffs or using that. You got the Steel Grasp, which is vulnerable. It doesn't matter if you use Steel Grasp or Rupture, you're going to vulnerable, but you want to use the Steel Grasp because it's berserking on top of it. You hit your Rens, and then you finish off with a Rupture. Rupture is important because it's going to take that bleed dot on them, end it immediately, and add another bleed dot. So it's highly important that you're using Rupture to end up your combos when you're done with your Rens. And other than that is rinse and repeat. Everything is gonna melt. There is no issues with doing any content in this game with this. So enjoy the build. Like, favorite, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'm trying to get this YouTube channel started. I appreciate the support.